Hey, welcome to Vinny Melkus Fishing. I'm back after a hiatus. It seems like I keep doing this, going back and forth. I just been busy. I had my truck break down, got a new truck, got a Dodge 1500 Eco Diesel, and it wasn't the engine that broke down on my 2500. It was the transfer case fell out, of all things. But I went and got an Eco Diesel, heard a lot of good things, and then I was at a couple tournaments, seen some guys towing with them, and I asked them some questions about it. And then I've done my own research, and I was like, what the heck? I want to try one of these out. So I got a pretty good deal. Got a bare bone, tradesman type thing. I don't want to get into a huge payment. I want to pay that off as soon as possible. Tow my boat, go to, I'm going to do the one bass if you haven't known. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm here to talk about, I want to do a review of a product that I've gotten into. I'm a finesse fisherman, grew up throwing grubs and all that kind of jazz out west. I do everything, but I grew up doing that with my grandpa and whatnot, and something happened. We go through tons of lead heads, and I'm always looking for, an edge on that stuff. And it's not a real new product, but it's been around, and it's the Megabass, Okashira heads. Now I got a little glare on there. These things right here. Now, if you take a look at those babies, I mean, the detail is just phenomenal. I got one of those. I got the screw heads. Now, the reason I got the screw heads is it's kind of like that. Not the eye motion theory, the jackal, not the jack. What is it? Man, I know it escapes me, but I like the theory of that spinning little blade, and it's not. Here's what you don't see through the packaging on these guys right here is they're oblong. One's longer than the other, has a little hook on it. Not a hook that you hook the fish, but I mean there's a little knob on it, and what it does is it creates a little bit vibration, a little bit of trail behind this lure. Just like what is it? There you go. Phone going off again. But it right when you push record, always does it. No fail. Go days without even getting anything. Anyway, what it does is it creates a little disturbance behind it, allows the fish to attract it, and it's like the the spy baits. That is what it reminds me of, and I wanted to get that because, hey, there's certain times that's key, and especially in a good winter situation, and which I did a video on grubs during the winter with really low water temperatures, and you've seen how they hit it in the fall, and how I counted that thing down and actually just started to slow. It didn't even hit the bottom. I was just like kind of tracing a depth zone. I think that's going to be key. This Okashira head. Not only that, but you take a look at the details on the Megabass, just amazing. I'm not even going to pull it out of the package, but here's another thing on there that I like. So on a lead head jig, the lead comes down the hook shank ever so slightly, but when you start putting grubs on there, especially if you use a Yamamoto grub or a very salt pregnated grub, what happens is it tends to pull back, and eventually it's just loose as a goose, and you might as well just every cast you come back, the grub's pulled down. Whether it be a fish or not, a lot of times it gets, and you just got to tear it, throw that away, get a new grub. Now, what they did here on these jig heads, now if you look at that, okay, you see that red wrapping, it goes down from the head all the way back here. There is a little, and this pliable, almost black keeper. Now, what that allows you to do, in my opinion, I'll have to test this out a little bit more, is it will keep those salted grubs pinned there a little bit better. Now, and I've noticed it because I have rigged one of these babies. So this is the old Sassy Shad. This is one of the original kind of shad profiled style baits, and I put it on there. What I like about it, I've actually had one of the biggest largemouth I've ever had on, and my dad lost it. Hit it with a net, popped it off like a 10-pounder at Lake Powell of all things, and that's like close to the record. But my grandpa's also had one on there and jumped it right at the boat. You can drop a softball in the thing's mouth, spit it. Sassy Shad. That's a old school bait, fishing that for years. But anyway, baits like that, I've noticed that little keeper, because it's flexible. So if you pull back on that grub, it kind of flexes just a little bit. There's a little bit of give, and it holds the bait a lot better. Now, what you also see, and I'll pull this bait, I'm going to put it close to the camera again, is there's a gill. It's almost like a gill. So that shimmy, I think that's going to shimmy the fall too. You're going to be able to put the grub up. It's going to get up against that, and that gill plate is going to go around the head of that, and I think it's going to create one. It's going to protect your grub as you go through whatever rocks or whatnot. but two, it's just it's going to create a unique water pattern behind that grub as you fish that, or swim bait, or whatever the case may be. I'm very impressed with the hooks. I'm very impressed with the detail of this bait. Now it sucks because it's a little expensive. I think it's $6.99 for 3 of them. I don't know how it's going to be snagging. I think it will snag less than the round ball head jigs that we're used to using. I think it'll produce, maybe the 1 or 2 bites. I call it the marginal bites for fish that have seen a lot of other things. It comes in. Here's another thing I like. So you got 1/8 ounce, your 1/16, 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, and then different hook size. Like the 2 that I got here, they're both 1/8 ounce. I like that size, and a 1/4 ounce. But this is what I found, 1/8 ounce. I was going to try that, more finessey, and with a 3/0 hook on it. And that's usually pretty perfect for a 3-4 inch grub, or like I got the 3-inch sassy shad here. It's a pretty good deal. Everything I've seen about it just quintessential Megabass. Very well, I won't say that. Everything about this Megabass is great, because I would normally say that generally Megabass is very detail oriented. Their stuff is good out of the package, but I've had some issues with like hooks. Granted, I'm sure there's an application for some of their hooks, but I usually change out, like, where you take a jerk bait, I change out those out barbed hooks. I put in number 6 wide gap Gamakatsu or whatever I'm trying to do with the bait, because, well, we'll get into that later, because those baits are very sensitive, very detailed. But these are going to be essential for your small Kitex and grubs. This has a place in your tackle box. I'm almost betting. I'm going to do some more videos. I'm going to take this out and fish, and I'm probably going to take this is probably going to be on one of my rods. I'll probably during practice I'll see which one I want to rig for Lake Havasu. That's next one bass tournament in February. During my birthday, that's what I'm going to do. I got it, and then the next video I'm going to do an unboxing. I got some stuff for there. Anticipating maybe winter bite. And we'll see what goes on there. Anyway, check these out. I mean, you can get these all the major retailers. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I have no skin in the game. I just like the products that I think are going to work, and the products that work for me. I like to bring them to light, and especially finesse fishing, which I got a lot of a little too much experience almost, where you go back to it during certain situations in a tournament. Situation, and it might not be the right thing to do, but a lot of times it saved my bacon, and I just kind of grew up that way. Like, I had a grandfather that he threw one bait. That's what he did. If they bit it, they bit it. If they didn't, they did it. But I learned how to finesse fish and really get those 1 to 2 marginal bites that you need in a tournament. So when it comes to grub fishing, it's almost like a lost art. So this is what we're doing. Like I said, they're roughly $6.99. So you're looking at like $2. I think they're $6. If you can find them cheaper, good on you. But this is like, these ones came from Bass Pro. So they're expensive. Well, I'm going to test their snag proofness, and then I'm probably going to, if they do snag, I'm going to be throwing weights down there to knock them loose. Anyway, check them out because they look promising, especially for that finesse. Small swim bait, 3 to 4 inch, depending on what hook size you get. Grubs, small swim baits. It looks key. A spark shad. That's what I've seen guys. You look them up on YouTube. That's what they've been using on there. That sounds cool too. I say try the grub. I don't see too many people doing it with that, but it looks awesome. Anyway, peace out.